Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ranger's Respite. Today is Friday, and that means that it is time for another whiskey library review. Today, I'm looking at a whiskey from Montana, courtesy of my friend Rich from the Old Man's Irish Pub. Without further ado, no, wait, hold on. There is some ado to do. The uh, third and fourth bouts of the first round of the Virginia Whiskey Tournament are live. You can vote on them until Friday tonight. That is June 12th, 2026. There are some great distilleries in the mix, and I hope that you will support these craft distillers because they're all amazing. And frankly, any one of them could win the trophy. Uh, Speaking of the trophy, if you like this channel, you like what I do, and you like to see more, and you like to support the 2026 Virginia Whiskey Tournament, I'm selling merch that supports it. Pens on Etsy, shirts and such on Spreadshirt. Links are in the description down below. And now, without any more ado, Glacier Distilling Bad Rock Rye. This is the Cask Strength Bad Rock Rye. Beautiful stuff. I really like their packaging. There we go. Do you see that in there? That is so cool. I like that. That's one of those things that I think that not enough of the big dogs, big distillers are doing is putting art on the inside of their label so that, in the right light conditions or when as you drink it down, you reveal some beautiful art. In this case, it looks to me, and I'd have to double check, but it looks to me like a landscape of Montana. I keep losing my train of thought. This is the second time I've recorded this. Don't know if you could tell. Yeah, this is courtesy of Rich from the Old Man's Irish Pub. It's a wonderful gift. I wanted something that wasn't Virginia whiskey for at least this week and maybe next until I can figure out which ones aren't moving forward. Definitely. I've already got 2 bouts down, but you know what I mean. So I can not put any extra attention onto any one specific distillery in these bouts because that would be slightly unfair. And I reviewed this on Wednesday, which is also a gift from Rich. And I was like, well, what else has he sent me? The answer is this. And it is really interesting. It ended up all the way in the back of this cubby behind me. And I really wish I had spent more time with it because it is really interesting. It is rye, malted rye, and corn, aged for a minimum of 3 years. Distilled and bottled by Glacier Distilling in Coram, Montana. And on the nose, it is beautiful. A little bit of wildflower honey. And there's a note that I always get from rye whiskeys that contain malted rye as their malt component. And that is a more bready, denser rye note that sort of stands out from more typical ryes because it's a little bit denser. It's a little less aggressively herbal. It's still there, but it tends to be a more balanced, roasty sort of note. But there's always still that fennel, aniseed, a little bit of like maybe caraway and maybe some clove in there as well. And of course, always a little bit of like barrel bitter and caramel. On the palate, there's some honeyed sweetness, notes of like roasted aniseed and fennel seed, some clove, a little bit of like a bittersweet baking chocolate, more bitter than sweet. That nice honeyed note. and a little bit of like, you've ever run a board through a table saw and it's like bound up a little bit, and you, especially oak, and you get like that sweet toasty smell. There's some of that in there too. Mm. The finish could be longer. It's a personal preference thing. Some people want a whiskey to be gone as soon as it leaves their mouth. I like the finish. It's a nice memory of what you consumed, and it's always like an interesting recombination of the notes of the palate and the nose. And in this case, it starts off really heavily with like bitter herbs and vegetation, uh, and sort of tapers down into like wildflower honey and like Irish breakfast tea. It's very nice. Um, I wish it was a little bit longer, but that's about it. My only other complaint is it is a little bit hot in the mouth, but that's what you get with a cask strength whiskey. That isn't really a complaint. It's just more of a, I'm going to have to look for these guys and find uh, their not cask strength version, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's uh let's look at those three questions that I always ask and answer, starting with, do I think it's a good, nope, do I enjoy it? That's the question. The answer is yes, very much so. I will be honest, I'm always a little bit apprehensive of whiskey that I don't really know the provenance of. Having actually looked at the Glacier Distilling Company website, I'm more confident. But I always go into these where, you know, there's always like, on the one hand, this is a gift, and that always colors my opinion in a good way. On the other hand, I don't know anything about this distillery, and I'm always pleasantly surprised because I go into everything with low expectations. Excuse me, and I'm always low expectations, and I'm always surprised. And I think that that's good for me, because if I'm always pleasantly surprised, it means that I'm always enjoying what I'm drinking to some extent. Um, but this is really a very good whiskey. It's a solid rye. It's got some beautiful notes. That malted rye component really sets it apart from a lot of other ryes on the market today. And it isn't like a mint or dill bond bomb like some of the other common ryes. I really enjoy it. It's got some wonderful sweet notes in it. Um, and that brings me to my second question. Second question is, I think it's a good value. And I, like with most, refuse to answer this. I mean, not most, but with gifted whiskeys, I refuse to answer this question because this is a gift. I don't know how much it costs. And I can't really speak on that. I will say that I do recommend finding it. That's the third question. Do I recommend it? Yes. If you like rye whiskey, if you like something that's a little bit off the beaten path of rye whiskey, this is a fantastic bottle. It's really enjoyable, and it's a little bit different. And I think that that really puts it in a good position to be of interest to people such as myself who are nerds and enjoy rye whiskey. With all that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in. Remember to vote. It is very important that you do your civic duty to the craft distillers of the Commonwealth of Virginia. And until next time, stay happy, stay geeks. Sláinte.